Ankush.
Hey, hi Siddharth. Sorry, got late.
Hi,
No
hello.
worries.
Hi.
Uh,
Yeah. So, Pete,
Uh,
you can take conversation.
yeah, so join with us today is Ankush Sabharwal. So he's the co-founder of Kover AI, one of India's most famous and biggest AI startups, providing conversational AI platforms for businesses alike in multiple sectors. So Ankush, I'd like to start with the question, how happy are you about the budget pertaining not just to your industry or your startup, but in a broader sense as an Indian citizen? So would love to have your thoughts about that.
yeah, so I think this time I was a little biased and I was very happy and see no income tax till 12 lakhs. And since we are a small team of around 50 people, so few people came in mind, so they'll get few bucks extra, every month. So that was small, but still very tangible benefit, and right, with kind of low hanging. Other things would take time, but I think this is something which comes very, very handy and the direct benefit to our employees.
How did
And
the how did the young interns react to the income tax news at Kover?
yeah, so I think now the young India, so they really look for take home. So I think this little sad part, so they would not care much how much is going to EPF or how much is going to NPS, right? So sad part for us, the way we think, right? More of risk averse and all that. But the young India cares about today, and I think that's fine. I think that's another philosophical discussion. But people look for the take-home salary, right? So and now when they see, hey, the take-home is less, then why to do job? Why not to do something else? So when the take-home is more, that still they might favor doing job a little more. All right. So a very, very narrow view I'm giving this time, but it helps for them to decide a bit. But on the other side, very, very happy to see, as we know, thanks to the nice introduction, AI company. There are many AI companies. We have a lot of work, right? There's no dearth of doing work, whether we innovate or whether we deliver for the clients. The companies are ready to embrace good solution, and it's not about they don't have money to spend. It's not about we don't know what to work on. It's not about whether we have technology to do it or not. But we need people to develop, right? Yeah. So I think that is still AI replacing job and all that is very shallow debate, especially in terms of AI company. We need people who know AI, know tech to create AI platform first, right? We now need more people to build more AI assistants. So we still have scarcity of AI professionals or professionals who know this emerging technology. But I think if we have AI in schools, applied AI, and more of not just theory, but the way of developing AI platform solutions in schools, colleges, and especially in the technology institutes also, right? So uh, still there is a gap, right? Even the technical education probably it still does not produce people who can go and start working in corporate in day one, right? Still there is a gap, or maybe corporate to campus it might take around 3 months or 6 months. So if we have that kind of applied AI more in the college, I think it would be the employability would be more. And in terms where I see is we would get more talent to really leverage the benefit of this AI boom and really build something instead of just talking. We really build something, and to build we need people.
Yeah.
We just don't need strategy. We just do not need research papers. We just do not need technology. We need to build solution, and to build solution, AI is not sufficient yet. We need people to leverage this AI and build the AI solution so that it solves a problem and help the society, organizations, and the world at large. So tapping this thing and tinkering labs, I kind of have seen more tinkering labs. So tinkering labs, if you know, right, it's very, very good. So in schools, they get to innovate and all that. And I think center of excellence, I need to see how center of excellence would practically add value. But of course, in this direction, center of excellence is usually giving focus. So I think the talent would be developed, and I think in India being the talent hub of the world. So let's leverage this, right? So not just why, again, I'll not be biased this time, right? So AI platform, fine, but we can become the AI service hub in the industry, right? Why not the GCCs focused in AI? So why not the AI service providers? So someone has to emerge. I don't think someone has taken this position in the world, right? So less Infosys, Wipro, TCS, they are doing great job. So maybe subset of them, I think they're trying, and maybe there can be new companies emerge, maybe Fractal, right, like that. So AI focus, we need manpower for that.
So on
The
that,
right
like,
decision.
I'd like to cut in and like ask, like, what was your initial reaction to the budget, and like, are you satisfied with the like center of excellence for AI announcement thing, and like, what are your thoughts on that, and do you feel that like it will solve the problem of talent which you mentioned about, or like, or is it just the headline?
See, it is never ever sufficient, right? Put any amount, it would never be sufficient. The kind of population and the scale we have.
Hmm.
So I think I just see the indication. I just see the focus. I just see the government support. How
Hmm.
much figure is sufficient? It is never sufficient,
Hmm.
right? So, but if government puts even forget about the 500 crore, even if it's 100 crore, we know there is a direction.
Hmm.
So then the focus does not just come with the money, right?
Hmm.
It comes with the support. Government is a big buyer,
Hmm.
right? So government is a big buyer, government. So DPIs, right? So even if we say build something, and even if we give free
Hmm.
to India,
Hmm.
right? Say no money, we do some innovation with good techies, and if it gets adopted in India at scale, even if it is free, you
Hmm.
see the world opens up for us, right? We might make money for the same technology globally.
Hmm.
So, right, so I just see on the direction side of it, but still on the tangible side, 10,000 crore funds are fund, right?
Hmm.
That's again concrete thing, and for entrepreneurs to really think and use this fund and build something.
Hmm.
So we'll have to build our own center of excellence and depend less on the government, but
Yeah.
let's just congratulate government like they're thinking in this line so that they help us in our journey.
And like, I wanted to know, like, can we see India exporting like SOTA model to the world this year?
So
Like
say it again.
DeepSeek, can we expect India to export an LLM to the world, which would be hosted on servers worldwide?
Yeah, see, that is one way of thinking. Right, so a lot of media hype and everyone's attention towards it, maybe for the right reason. So I see differently. So first, to export, first we have to see whether are we getting the benefit of our own technology of the
Hmm.
LLM which we have built. First, let's help ourselves,
Hmm.
right? So, and you say we aspire to build something like Chat GPT or maybe DeepSeek, which can answer every question, which can answer or help in every sector, right? Whether it's healthcare, travel. So and we aspire that this model should be used globally.
Hmm.
I think I think this statement can be headline, but you see, first we have to see how we help ourselves first, right? Huge opportunity for us to really leverage the technologies which already exist, right? And see how India gets benefited, right? And then we will see whether we can export or not, right? If people are getting benefit with DeepSeek, why not, right? But the problem India has, right? I think the problem is in the information dissemination. The problem is about the use of technology. So we don't have to democratize AI. We have to democratize the information. We have to democratize the technology. So that would happen only when we use whatever AI is so called and all the tools, platforms, LLMs to make sure the existing basic technology gets accessed or gets used by the citizen, right? They get the right information at the right time in the language of their choice, and they feel empowered, right? So we as a company, we got a lot of benefit from the government. We got grants, we got the prize money, we got equity funding. Why so? It's not like right. We have any relationship. Of course, we have a relationship being the citizen and the businesses of India. We just keep a tab of all the challenges being launched, all the schemes being launched, and sometimes when we see, hey, the DST has fund for cognitive AI startups, and they tell us, can you refer some companies, right? They are not getting the right AI companies. Can you imagine? And one side, when we see AIM, the news articles, you mention hundreds of companies working on AI, right?
Mhm.
So, but other side, the companies are not reaching out to them to seek funds,
Yeah.
Right.
right? So that is on the company side. But think about the citizen side, they literally don't get the right information because they
Mhm.
have to read, write. Why so? So we are talking, there is no need of writing, there's no need of reading. So we are
Mhm.
just doing the conversation. The same access if all the citizens in India, even in the bottom of pyramid, if they talk to the technology, they talk to the information, they talk to the all the policy documents. So there's a lot of policies from the government which can benefit citizens. And literally, we live in abundance. I think, Siddharth, when we were doing podcast. So I
Mhm.
literally believe if the technology information is used at large,
Mhm.
so there would not be poverty, there would not be any. So why only few people know how to make money? Why only few people know how to build technology? Why only few people know how to get the benefits of government? Why only few people know how to take care of their health, right? So yeah, so I think a lot of exciting times ahead. And first, let's solve India's problem and think about export. But then there should be the IT service companies and all that export. So that's why I always say first, make in India, make AI in India, make AI for India first, and then for the world.
Yeah.
Right? Then it will be a separate kind of company. Again, you're building tech, you're building LLM again for the West. That we have been doing for last 30 years.
Yeah.
I think we
Right.
should not be in FOMO at all.
Yeah. I would
Right.
like my colleague Supreet to come in here, like, and
Yeah, Siddharth, thank you for the wonderful question. So, Ankush, getting back to your point about India being a huge talent hub, right? And there's also the announcement of IIT Patna. But despite all of these initiatives in the past, there's also been a problem of brain drain, right? It is increasingly appealing for students to pursue their passion and career in countries abroad. So, what do you think of the current problem, and what should the government do to stop brain drain? And as you mentioned, build AI for India first, yes, but at a point you will also have to build tech for India. So how do you address the problem of brain drain affecting the situation?
Yeah, so thanks for asking this. So I think these kind of budgets, these kind of packages help, right? When the people who think like India doesn't have money and they are talented and they should make money outside. So now they can think they can make money better, well, more than if they are just employed in the US, say, right? Because the 10,000 crore fund is not less. Again, I'll repeat, I think, which I mentioned in the podcast of AIM. So I was watching a video where I came to know, unfortunately, I was not aware of this earlier. So Google, I think the first check of Google was around 100,000, 100,000 dollars. I think that comes to how much?
Uh,
70,
around,
80 lakhs,
yeah, around 80 lakhs, yeah.
80, 90 lakhs. And with the inflation adjusted amount, that comes to around, I think, 1.5 million or so.
Yeah.
Right? So one and a half million is how much? Around 10 crore, right? And we have 10,000 crore funds, right? So
Yeah.
many Googles can
Right.
come from India,
Right.
right? So now someone has to really think little bigger, right? Why do people, I think, go out? They just compare working in India as an employee and working in the US as an employee. Of course, huge difference in the salary. But if
Right.
you think a little big, if they think little big, right? Starting a company, so they will not be able to just start a company as soon as they go there. Right? Mostly people go with H1 again. They cannot leave the organization. It's tied up. For L1 again, they have to work with the organization, then go, and then they go for the student visa. Right? Entrepreneur visas are different. So they have to prove first or innovator visa or investment visa. So means they don't go there to start company. Right? They first work, they study, work, and then maybe later when they get the maybe the green card and they work, they can short circuit this process.
Right.
In India, they have an idea, they solve some problem, they create solution, get the fund or not. Again, that's debatable based on the idea, the solution they have in. But they can short circuit this process and they can become a problem solver and entrepreneur bigger earlier.
so like
Right.
is there enough pool talent in India? And if yes, like how can we retain them in nation itself? And is
Yeah.
it skilled enough?
See, talent is less, right? Talent is still less. That's why the all this effort of maybe the tinkering lab from the school, and I think I know that AIM keeps doing that academia, industry, the knowledge gap stuff, and all that. So I think there should be focused work towards solving that the gap, reducing the gap between industry and academia. I think more than that, it's about probably the ecosystem, which of course government is trying with the Startup India, and we are seeing the tangible results also. And I think we also as citizens have to think a little big, right?
Mhm.
So a little big, and let's be ready to take risk because the government is helping you. So
Mhm.
it's you would see it's very small step. They said 5 lakh rupees credit card we would be able to get, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure whether people would have really understood this. We took a lot of time to convince bank to give us credit card, and even to get the credit card, we had to put the fixed deposit. Say if you have put the fixed deposit of 5 lakh rupees, and then they gave us the credit card. So why did we get the credit? Because still, right, there are a lot of services from we have to give the credit card. Even the debit card sometimes doesn't work, especially when you take some kind of service outside India. So you need credit card, right? And sometimes you need the credit card of the company because you are buying the service in the company's name. And if you use your personal card, the name would mismatch, right? You need the company's credit card, and the banks are probably not ready to give you credit card for a smaller company, right? You need to give the fixed part. So this looks so small thing, but this is very meaningful, right? So it will open up easy access to the rest of the country to do the transaction. And these small things are helping us this avoid or reduce this brain because the is it 10,000 crore? I think fund of fund is huge,
Yep. Right.
right? So
Yeah. Ankush, taking a step back from AI, as a founder of a startup and an entrepreneur yourself, what more did you expect from this budget that would benefit founders and many people working on startups across the country? So, did the budget fall short on any of your expectations pertaining to that?
I'm thinking, but really not. So income
Right.
tax was everyone looked for. I also had that softly in my mind about the income tax. And then, though they did not mention about specifically AI
Yeah.
focused fund, I'm sure the government has it. As I was saying, there are DST funds which are for cognitive AI. So they have not mentioned, but they said the deep tech, right? So AI is covered there.
Yeah.
Um, and
Definitely.
if and then the long term capital gain, the last time it was I think already addressed 12.5%.
Yeah.
I think there was nothing much from my perspective which
Right.
was not covered.
There's also a lot of expectations regarding the taxation of employee stock options, where there's a prerequisite tax and then later there's a capital gains tax. So, did you wish to see a simplification of this process in this budget? And I'd love to know your thoughts about that.
Yeah, so I think that part I see we have given the ESOPs and no one has actually redeemed it so far. So I've not studied that. So I'm not the direct victim if anyone is. So I'll not be able to comment on that. But I heard people had that kind of concern. So I
Right,
have no knowledge on that yet.
right. Yeah,
And from the past 2 days, our Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw have been mentioning about the 18K GPUs like India has procured. I like as a journalist till now, I also don't have any clarity like how startups are going to get access to those compute. So I wanted to ask you are you aware of any particular method or a process a startup should follow to get access to that compute?
Yeah, see, first of all, that is the cheapest in the world, right? I have even asked few people, how could you quote this less? Have you taken better price than the GPU manufacturers? They said, no, no, it's all investment for them. So, right. So I think if you know the numbers, it's I think anyways they companies have quoted less. I think it's around 115 is the average bid price for per GPU hour, and
Mhm.
government is giving 50% or I think 40% subsidy to that,
Yeah.
and that effective rate for companies, researchers, startups would be around 70, 69.51. It's a number in front of me. So
Mhm.
that's the highest. That's the lowest in the world. You would have seen few startups in trying to innovate on the cloud in India.
Mhm.
So whatever rate even they had quoted, that was four times larger
Mhm.
than this,
Yeah.
right? So 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 now it's all up to us, right? There
Mhm.
and I think not more than 20% GPUs are consumed in India.
Mhm.
People have GPU. So we have
Mhm.
to build something tangible to very see to do POCs, we don't need much GPUs, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Right? People see research is never stopped because we didn't have GPUs. Right?
Mhm.
So research should have continued. For research, how many GPUs? Maybe
So like,
one.
what's lacking? Like everyone knows that DeepSeek was trained on around 2K GPUs, and if we have 10K GPUs by now, like India should have at least like 5, 6 DeepSeeks. So what's the missing point then?
So what does that mean? So this comment I don't understand.
Uh,
Say India would have DeepSeek. Then what?
yeah. The-
So they have open sources. Now you have it. You
hmm,
use it.
yeah.
So see, that is not the race, I think, which we chase, or I think I'm also the representation of large people in India. And
Hmm,
even investors also do not think in India, let's do some research, we
hmm,
will open source it, right?
hmm,
And we'll make money after 10 years.
hmm,
Make money, not profit. There's a lot of investors, okay, don't worry about the profit, just make revenue. Right? If we do research, even revenue might not come for the next 10 years.
hmm,
So do we have that mindset in the entrepreneur's mind and the investor's mind in India?
hmm,
Chase the vision of building something and then open sourcing it.
hmm,
Because I think have low hanging fruit of solving problems. Others are also getting benefited immediately, and we are also getting benefited immediately because when you solve immediate problem, you get paid. And yes, maybe profit can take some time, but revenue should keep coming. That's a mindset which we have is in India, isn't it? So we don't want to build something and then open source it
okay.
because the revenue would delay.
Yeah.
We would not, I think, have achieved much if we have done. So then what is the use case? Where are we solving the problem with this kind of LLM?
So like you touched upon a very delicate point, about this is a very interesting debate, like open sourcing versus not like having a closed source model. So you mentioned about you are on the side where you should have a closed source model which should solve a particular problem, which should keep the revenue coming, rather than build something and then open source it and forget about the revenue and profit. If I'm not wrong, like you touched upon this point.
See, that was the mindset,
Yeah.
but the ecosystem need wants to go towards open source, right?
Mhm.
So, but I probably not in that favor of doing the open source for the world, right?
Yeah.
So we are now trying to change our agreement with the client. Whatever we are building for you, you take it,
Mhm.
and we would open source that code for you, so that
Okay.
you are not hardly tighten up with us. So
Mhm.
you can change, modify, extend the code.
Mhm.
So let us take this step first, right?
Okay.
So it is taking time for us even to there because we are thinking we'll spend years to build the platform and we are open sourcing it.
Mhm.
So that part not yet ready because I don't because see we have less resources and most people in India have less resources. So
Mhm.
because to really do something meaningful for the world to use, you have to really do a lot of R&D and spend a lot of money. And there is no direct access or immediate money there. So that I'm little hesitant. I might change my view. As I was saying, the world is going towards open source, but
Yeah.
should be meaningful open source instead of just focusing on just to be in the headlines and uh, not of that favor to really
Mhm.
announce that instead of really helping someone. If there's some problem, say if we do some, hey, I solved a problem where the cancer detection would be faster, the treatment would be faster,
Mhm.
right? Then of course do the open source, right? And we'll eat healthy food.
Mhm.
So you're just
Mhm.
open sourcing some kind of model which is not solving a specific problem. That I'm not understanding this thing yet. Maybe I'll take a couple of weeks to.
Yeah, like I will like I have a very hypothetical question. Like suppose like you had built like Llama or DeepSeek, like would you not have open sourced it?
Please say it again. Sorry.
If you had built a reasoning model equivalent to O1, would you not have open sourced it? It's a
Yeah.
hypothetical question.
See, I would have open sourced it when I didn't have clients.
Okay.
When I didn't have paid clients, I would have open sourced it because I also need to get attention and the usage.
Yeah.
When I have the clients who are looking for the right solution, I would not waste time
Hmm.
in just giving it free when we also don't know how this can be benefited because we have large companies to
Hmm.
they are believing in us, trying, hoping us to solve the problem, and we go and chase the word problem when we are not solving the problem of the client who have millions of users looking for the right solution.
Yeah.
When we
Right.
had no deep association with the company, then we don't have any specific problems to solve, then we build some technology, no usage, okay, let's open source.
Right.
So I would like my colleague Supreet like, to come in and like comment or like ask.
Yeah, Ankush, so since Siddharth is on the topic of open source and you both have, had quite a conversation about that, it's quite difficult to ignore about an open source model that's made quite some noise in the last few days. It's about DeepSeek. So I won't talk to you about how powerful it is or not, because that conversation is, beyond spoken about. But with regards to safety concerns, right, it's almost often said that if anything is good and it's free, you are the product yourself. So a lot of Indians are using that app, and many countries like Italy, Ireland, Italy has even banned it. So, how do you assess the security concerns with an app like DeepSeek? Is it also going to meet the same fate like TikTok did in India? So, would love to know your thoughts about that.
Yeah, so thanks. So I'm very clear on that, right? So if you are using the deployed app which is in other country, then of course all that risk and someone has to validate, and I would not use it, right? So,
Of course.
but you see the good thing they have done for us and for society. Not sure for them or not. They have open sources, right? You can take it and deploy in your own secure environment, the way Llama had done. So
Right.
if it is good, and I'm sure it is good, that's why there's a buzz. So take it and deploy. And I think some companies have deployed in India and giving you the link. We have to test that whether it's really deployed in India, right? But yeah, so no security risk if you're not using the app directly and which is deployed in other country. If you
Right.
take the open source model and deploy it, and by the way, when I think I want people to know, so when it's open source, it's just usage of model is available,
Yeah.
right? I'm not sure why it is called as open source.
Right.
So right, it's free to use, free to deploy, right? But the data set is not open source, right? So we don't know what biasness, what data has been added there. And I think even I think there are few models which have been fine-tuned on Llama and Quen. So
Yes.
if Armen is created from scratch, and I think that algorithm at the code is also not open source,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, so we have to take our own judgment call what problem we are going to solve, and but there's no security risk for sure if you just
Yeah.
take it and deploy.
Yeah. Yeah. So coming back to the budget, Ankush, the government did emphasize a lot on make in India and make for the world, but a lot of incentives weren't announced, especially for the semiconductor industry and semiconductor manufacturing in India, to be precise. So there's also been a lot of debate if India is lagging in that sector. So how would you assess that from today's budget's point of view?
Yeah, so I think semiconductor, it's a great sector, and I know people are working on it very, very extensively. I know the Ministry of IT. I think they probably would worry more about the semiconductors and less about the LLM. Right? Sorry if I misinterpreted that. So, which is right thing, and I know Ajay Chaudhary, that CL co-founder. I think he's so vocal about that semiconductor mission, and I'm not sure whether direct relevance has come to this or not, but huge investment and huge plans are being made from Ministry of IT, even Department of Science and Technology, and the torch bearer Ajay Chaudhary himself. So I think we are not ignoring that sector.
Right. And a very good thing was also implemented in last year's budget, which was the abolishment of angel tax. So it's been quite a few months since that has been employed. So how has your startup benefited from that, and what are other industry leaders and founders around you? What sort of a sentiment do they have about the abolishment of angel tax to the state?
Yeah, we are the huge beneficiary there. So a lot of investors, and if you see, the venture catalyst has invested in us, and so venture catalyst, their LPs are also a lot of investors, right? Even the large investors like Anutham, and even the small investors as well. So a lot of investors, and I'll tell you. So the term sheet which they had given for us, okay, instead of giving the exact number, let me see. I think whatever they wanted to invest, whatever term sheet they had given, they had invested 10 times of that last
Mm.
year. So I think it's because they could attract more angel investors as well, right? So all angel investors don't come to our cap table, but they had given more money to venture capitalists to invest in us. So they could do 10x than what they had committed. So we got benefited. I'm sure the other great companies are getting more funding than we did. So this is definitely enticing more people to come as angel investors.
So I think including the abolishment of angel tax, we've spoken a lot about all the benefits that have been allocated to the startup ecosystem by the government. And moreover, it's also, very easy to solve problems and get a head start, with AI. You have a lot of open source models to deploy. And how would you, what would your message be to young folks in the country who have a lot of aspirations about solving problems, and now they have a very powerful, AI in their hands, right? It's often jokingly referred to as an AI model is almost like a co-founder. So what is your message to people who are looking forward to solve problems and building new startups, and you expect more and more startups leveraging AI in the coming few months in the country?
So I would say let's not have FOMO, all right? It's natural tendency to be in FOMO, but do meditation or have right mentors or right partners and read right books, right? So let's not get diverted too much with the FOMO. Pick up a problem and solve it, right? So if you solve it rightly, whether it's a citizen, users, customers, or and companies or other researchers, they would partner or buy from you. Pick up a problem and solve it, and deviate yourself from FOMO for give 18 months, do something, and then because every time there will be news, right? So now you see DeepSeek, and trust me, right? In 10 days, you'll see another big thing coming. Then you start chasing that. So focus on your problem for some time and produce something tangible, and then you see whether you want to partner, pivot, or whatever.
Right. And also another question I had is people like me, Siddharth, or anyone who are enthusiasts about technology, right? So we've always been curious and appreciative of what AI does. But having built a platform that's touched a lot of people in the country, how would you assess the sentiment of the regular folks who aren't very enthusiastic about tech? How do they feel about AI? How do they feel about talking to a machine that is so smart? And how do they appreciate the help that AI is offering to them, or what sort of challenges are they facing in using AI in the country?
See, there's very kind of tricky answer. It could be one is I might say they all should know AI and all that, which we keep saying that. We also have launched Core Over Certified AI Professional. We want everyone to know about AI, at least get literate about AI. But if yesterday it was blockchain, and tomorrow again there will be something else. So again, unless AI should not be just the domain, right? AI should not be just sector. We have chosen this as sector, but AI is not required for living, right? So for living, we need food, right? We need some travel. We need some probably entertainment, right? So we need health care, education. So AI should not be just considered as one sector. So if I'm in healthcare, so I just have to understand healthcare, my specific thing so well, as whether I'm orthopedic surgeon. So I should know about that domain, right? I should know about, hey, this is a problem. It takes time for me to operate, right? This is a problem which if I solve, then I'll be a better surgeon. So then you see, you should know your problems. AI will not just tell you this is the problem. When you know your domain well, then you seek help from technology, AI, or whatever. So I'm saying it, again, FOMO, right? So many people are still thinking AI is FOMO. I know there are many good companies who are doing without AI. So, right, this is unbiased view. But I also think they cannot avoid AI, right? It's not like any other. So they should not just come from top down. They should not say AI is there and let me force fit it, right? So they'll take time and they'll not be clear about the solution. They should know about their domain and then look for. They should say, hey, I have this problem. Can AI solve it? Do whatever RFP, or do hackathon, whatever. Instead of say, AI company, tell us how you can help us. You understand? So they have to embrace AI, but which problem to solve and all that. I think either it starts from the domain, or companies like us, we should focus on one vertical and we should go so deep and have those domain expert working along with us, which not many companies are doing, right? We are now DeepSeek and LLMs and all that. So we were talking about the healthcare, right? And AI. So very few companies, they're there. So I'm saying either it's a deep collaboration between the tech AI techies and the domain expert, one company, or it's or these companies more sector specific companies should also blossom, or the problem should be defined very well from the domain experts. So one of these three, but yeah, so I'm saying don't take AI probably like have FOMO and you stop working on your own domain and say, no, no, if I know AI, I don't have to be worried much about my domain, right? I'll still be you can still be a good journalist even if you don't have AI, right? So doctor can still be good, but yes, then you see AI how it can enhance you further, but you have to be the leader, right? Someone says AI is a co-pilot and you are the pilot. It's not my statement. Someone I read makes sense, right? You decide when you have to use assistant and co-pilots instead of someone is giving you and you force fit in your use.
Like I wanted to ask, how can we increase the adoption of AI in Indian markets? And like you spoke about different domains like healthcare, customer service, and on that line, I wanted to. This is my follow-up question: like, which sector will adopt AI in India so fast that it will be a like watershed moment where AI will kind of become mainstream? So like you must have also observed that in newspapers as well. Take 1 year back, like no one was talking about AI. Now you pick any media publication house, papers like journals, magazines, like they have a like separate page for AI where they talk about it. So I would like to know like which industry will adopt AI in India very fast, which will make it mainstream, and like should and how can government come into the picture as well to increase the adoption of AI?
Yeah. See, the sector which see, we are in this AI for last 7, 8 years, and we have also not done a great job in identifying the sector, right? So we have probably failed in focusing on one vertical and scaling there. So
Mhm.
again, I might not be the right person to answer this, but I tell you why this situation has happened to us. Because which sector would get adopted? One is I just have my vision and they'll say, okay, this is the factor. And mostly it is less of vision and it's more of your own wisdom. If I keep myself surrounded with healthcare people, I would incline towards that, and knowingly, unknowingly,
Mhm.
upbringing the people around, or if it's travel and education. But if you see the
Mhm.
data, AI adoption is required, and it will be increasing with 30% plus CAGR.
Mhm.
So I think it is any sector would have AI adoption and it will grow at 30% CAGR. And
Mhm.
not only in India, across the globe. And even if you ask which country, again, I don't know, this 30% is some magic number. Every country that adoption would increase 30% CAGR, and every sector also it will increase. So
Mhm.
now it's kind of pick up any sector. wherever you have knowledge or wherever you have
Mhm.
core affinity in various aspects, interest, knowledge, but market is there. And what government should do, I think government should, I think, call for these challenges and call kind of help us getting our products adopted because uh, government as large buyer and large consumer, right? So if we because AI is all about the data and users. If any product government adopts, so it will
Mhm.
be used by various ones. They get benefited, and another thing is our platform would also get
Mhm.
benefited. So if that test bed is been given by them, and I would also not say data. I know few people would say government should give data and all that. Government is anyways trying.
Yeah.
So asking data from the government, I think it will be not a great thing because right. So because government data is crucial and
Mhm.
the data the AI is less of algorithms now. Everyone is open sourcing.
Mhm.
It's more of the right good quality and quantity of data for the problem you solve. So whether you have to get the right domain specific and use case specific data. So that we have to figure out, and government should help us in the adoption.
Like as your startup, as your product itself is like consumer facing, which has customers in various sectors like IRCTC, banks, and several other domains. So, like, do you feel that a new digital divide has occurred with AI with respect to like digital urban India and rural India?
So digital divide
In
in
terms
terms
of
of
AI, like previously it was around internet and mobile phones. So, like, is there a new digital divide in terms of AI? So, last month we saw OpenAI releasing a phone number for ChatGPT, where they announced that if you dial a toll-free number, like customers can get access to ChatGPT, even though you don't have a smartphone. So, like, as your product is also consumer facing and serves billions of customers in India, so I wanted to ask, like, do you feel that there's a digital divide in AI currently in India, like where rural people are not aware how to make use of it, or maybe in general not aware of it, AI, that there's a service I can use it.
so yeah, so I would say there's no need for them to know AI. If we are asking them to be aware of AI, then means again we are just talking and
Mhm.
not solving the problem, right? If it is about banking, they should just do the banking, right? They would not be any need of they knowing English. They should not be a need of they going to a branch, right?
Mhm.
There should not be any need for them to read a specific thing or fill the form in English, even if they don't know English.
Mhm.
So it should be so well adoption of AI, and they should not just feel the need or the presence of AI. And whatever you're saying on the voice, yeah, 3 years ago uh, okay, so yeah, so there is a product of that NPCI, PC, and other bank, DigiSathi. So there is AI on phone, which was DigiSathi. If you do the search 3 years ago, probably
Mhm.
that was the first AI on feature phone, right? So now with ONDC, we have launched even Bharat GPT enabled phone call. So that's what I was telling someone, right? So US is good in marketing, US is good in packaging. Maybe China is also learning. We do work and probably talk less. We also have to see how do we package our work, right? So 3 years ago, that voice enabled AI was there. So again, as to answer your question, the digital divide is we have to bridge the digital divide with AI. Knowing not knowing AI is there, but that is a separate topic, right? The way we had computer literacy day, 2nd of December, I remember NIIT. I was studying in NIIT, and they had initiated. There should be AI literacy thing and all that should continue, but that's not should not be taken too much seriously because AI should just be helping divide the knowledge and so to bridge the knowledge divide technology divide. It should just bridge. It's just knowing AI, what will help them, right? So that not help us eat food better or the same story again. So it's up to technologies to use the AI well, so
Mhm.
that the other common utilities should be kind of used better. Ease of living and
Mhm.
be considered kind of.
Right.
And like this can be funny, but like there are awareness campaigns around health initiatives, maybe like polio dogs or something around that line like that. So should like we also India should also create some campaign when a tangible solution is built where through like ads or radio uh, uh, like citizens can get to know like if for instance if we can take example of our parents or grandparents as well, they aren't aware of this technology and like they can also make the best out of it. So like what's your take on that?
No, no, absolutely. That's required. And if you see, um, what comes in your mind is, again, I'll be biased, right? IRCT asked Disha. That time it is people should just speak and do the ticket booking. Though there are few touch points and where they have to click here and there, but we have aged population who are using this, right? So voice, right? So voice, when we someone is using voice in technology, that's AI.
Mhm.
So, and for GSI, John Snow, we have created healthcare related AI assistant for people to know when to give the vaccine, what is the benefit of vaccine. So
Mhm.
again, Bharat GPT enabled, vaccine assistant for
Mhm.
Jon Snow, and there are being campaigns. Sometimes people keep sending me photos, and there are posters in ATM, posters on the post office. Right? It's never enough, and attempts are being made.
Mhm.
Maybe you have to increase more, right? So I don't know the adoption. I think there is no magic band or one solution how the DeepSeek became popular, right?
Yeah.
How one campaign gets popular. I think there is no formula, right? It's the right messaging, right need, right timing, whatever.
Mhm.
But I think attempts are being made. So,
Mhm.
right, I am not of the opinion like something is not being done. Hey, government is not giving this, or we don't have good education, or the weather is not good, or right. I'm not of that view, right? I'll always think it's me. I'm not doing the right thing. That's why it's not getting adopted. So, right, so government is
You
ready.
know, previously you mentioned like I can be a good journalist even though I don't know AI. But I also have a personal bias here. AI has definitely helped me like speed up the process of finding information, create information very quickly, and it would have taken some time like if AI wasn't there. So it can be spread across different sectors as even I have spoken to many senior journalists when I go to events and they say that like they don't use AI because because they have trained themselves over the period of time and to gain that experience, and not saying that they don't have that experience, but in that way there are several sectors missing out on the great opportunity. Like if they have big documents and they want to get key points and like summarize it quickly, and like we know like RAG is there. Like RAG is very common and popular in AI world right now. Like the law is there. Like you can solve cases quickly. We manually don't have to turn to different pages. So don't you feel that in adoption also we are forget about creating. Uh,
Absolutely, so that's what we are doing for living. So I just didn't want to say it like, you would be best only when you know AI, right? So if you're already good in, see, are we using AI now when we talk, right? So if someone is totally dependent upon AI, right? I need, okay, someone, there can be AI, okay, someone, you have, Siddharth has asked me questions, Preet has asked me question, do voice to text, do quick rag and tell me what do I speak, right? I can still have a small tool in front of me. So all of that we can do, but again, it is kind of assisting us. But the
Mhm.
important is you need to ask the right question, right?
Yeah, that
So,
one. That.
so I'm saying first you have to be a good journalist and then use AI, right? So right, that's what I was saying. First, be the journalist first, and then you should know how to use it well, instead of just saying AI. If I don't know AI, and I'll be behind. So that sense I was talking. But of course, as we do it for living, I can definitely not say AI is of no use.
Is there anything, Supreet, you like to add on to
Yeah,
that?
I do have a few questions, Ankush. So again, going back to the industry-related conversation. So, as a founder in a very booming industry of artificial intelligence, right? What are your take on foreign direct investments? Do we need more of them in the private sector or not? How would you approach this question?
I just saw FDI 100% is for the insurance company, and insurance adoption is very, very less in India. So
Right,
I think so. Yeah, we should have competitive market, and the less restrictions should be there, so that more and more business and more problems for us to solve with AI or the technology.
right, right. And also the India AI mission announced a few years ago was a huge move in the country. And I think over the last year, around over 500 crores were allocated. So how have you seen the success of the project come along, and what would you expect from the India AI mission in the coming years, given the positive signs we've seen in the budget?
500 crore, I don't know how they have spent, but the 10,000 crore I know which they are spending rightly on the infrastructure.
Right,
You're right. So 500 crore last time was there in the budget. That is in addition to the 10,000 crore for the next 5 years. So that's
right,
from 10,000 crore, 500 crore we can ask. I don't know where they have used. But the 10,000 crores is huge money and they have already started, right? So that which I was talking about, giving the GPUs at the cheapest price. And that is all for all of us to use and build something. So other, if we don't build and then we say, we keep thinking, okay, why we could not build, why deep sea could not come to India, why, right? Solve some problem. There people are helping us with GPUs and even the big companies are also helping you. See the NVIDIA Inception program, right? I should help congratulate them. We don't give them any direct money, and their leadership and their teams are helping us build the right thing, and they also know when we grow they would grow, and with that they don't have need of immediate gratification or money. So I think right ecosystem, right? It's not like, hey, I don't know anyone in my family who knows AI or tech, right? People used to say, right? So no one could guide me better, and that's why I am where I am. I think no excuses, we would have no excuses, trust me. It's all with us whether to leverage it, what to leverage, what to solve. Very exciting times, and very, very, I think, right? We would not be able to give excuse to our kids, I'm sure. I think our parents had, right? So
right,
we have huge responsibility. If we do it, fine, we could do it. If not, then we will have excuses, whatever. And that those excuses, I think, should maybe because maybe hard work, that not the timing. I think we will talk more about timing was not good. I was early,
right,
right? So
right,
I'm telling you, I think take full responsibility and we might do it. If not, I think Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister said when he launched 2016 that Startup India. तो कुछ करो बड़ा करो, कुछ बन गए तो बन गए, नहीं तो कोई बात नहीं,
right.
तजुर्बा ही सही. So I think with that
Yeah.
uh, instinct, let's do it.
I'm sure, based on the last message you sent, many people in the country would look up to you and everything that you've done with Bharat GPT and Kover AI. And thank you so much for your valuable time, Ankush. As always, you've done with AIM. And thanks for taking the time out with your wonderful insights. And it's an amazing talk. And thanks for the insightful questions, Siddharth. So, yeah, thanks for your time once again. And
Awesome.
hope the success of the budget comes along.